Welcome back to Rob Bob's Aquaponics and Backyard Farm. Today on Rob Bob's,
here we've got a wick wedge hydroponic system. This is an NFT hydroponic system. Down here we have a recirculating Dutch bucket system. Here we have a wicking grow bag setup, and behind me a wicking dragon fruit setup. Here we've got a citrus and macadamia nut grow system. So we're up here today with Hucho. Thank you very much for having me, mate. I really appreciate the tour.
It's a pleasure being on the channel.
So Hucho is a hydroponic grower in southeast Queensland, and he's been kind enough to invite us up here, and we're going to have a bit of a chat about a grow system I'm planning for the new aquaponic system. But first I thought we'd have a bit of a chat just about what you've got on the grow here and the different systems you like to use.
Yeah, so as you saw in the opening of this video, we've got a heap of grow systems all around the property, and they range from active grow systems, passive grow systems. There's all different styles of growing. So you've got media systems, you've got NFT systems with very little media as well, and they're all purpose made for specific plant types. But what I hear you're interested in is the wicking rain gutter grow system.
Certainly am.
Yeah.
Yep. Fell in love with it with Larry Hall ages ago, and you've developed it even further using the hydroponic methods.
Yeah,
It looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell me about the two different styles you have on the grow here at the moment?
Yeah. All right, let's have a look.
Sweet.
So at the back here, we've got the round pipe rain gutter grow system. So that's essentially just an auto refill cocoa perlite system that wicks up from the rain gutter below. That's basically the idea behind all of these systems. They'll all wick up from a res, which is automatically refilled from a float valve underneath.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that differs between these systems is the method of putting the plant above the system. So this is the latest system that I designed, and it was made to get rid of essentially all of the plastics on top of the other systems and use the bag that you get the substrate in to wick up from below, this is the wick wedge system. But for your systems, you want them to be recirculating.
I certainly do.
Yeah.
The problem we have with the aquaponics is the water is very nutrient dense, especially with organics.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, once it sits in the Queensland sun for a little while, she tends to get a little bit pongy. So I need the water to keep recirculating around through the fish tank and the other filters in the system, load up with nutrients again to be presented to the plants. So,
yeah, and we were talking about this before, and you said that the way that you wanted to get this to happen was to have sort of a deep flow technique.
Yes, yeah, not necessarily the nutrient film technique, which is just a thin layer of water or nutrient-rich water along the base, something that the roots can actually sit in, because it's also a bit of a built-in redundancy. What if the pump does die, power outage or whatever? There's a little bit of probably an inch or so of water or nutrient-rich water in the base for the plant to take up. So yeah.
And I think that would work fantastically, because all you've really got to do is take all these systems, whichever design you prefer, cut and paste it on top of your idea of an entry point and an exit point for a deep flow.
Yes, that's it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Another thing to consider though is also the amount of moisture we can hold in the medium once it is wicked up. So for that purpose I've considered cocoa, and the other thing we're looking at doing is just straight soil potting mix, a soil blend.
A good blend of potting mix, absolutely. So this is the float box hydroponic system. Essentially the float valve at the end fills up the reservoir, which is this square rock-filled bed, and the grow bags full of cocoa and perlite wick up from below and feed the plants. Now this is similar to the system that you had in the bathtub.
Yeah, it's basically the same. A lot larger, a lot more food production in it with some very healthy, happy looking squash. I really like this idea. The only issue that I really have with it is just size. I'm trying to make everything